See, that's me. I get to run my mouth, and I got over time. That one went over 12 minutes. It might not load down to the computer, and then I'm going to lose the whole thing. So I'm just going to keep going, hope for the best. This is Don with Adventures of the Broken Retired. This is episode what? 4 of Culture Shock. If you'd be so kind as to please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so that you'll know when new videos come out. Thank you very much for letting me get through my little spiel. Talking about coon asses and Cajuns. They were hardcore people. They worked hard, and man, I tell you what, they ate a lot of stuff I wouldn't eat. I got invited over to a house for dinner one night, and they have a lot of funny names for their food. I know what they mean now. But anyway, they invited me over for a sauce piquant. Hey, we're having a sauce piquant. Come over tonight. Okay. So I load up and I go over there, and they got the burner going. They're cooking the pot, and it's a cast iron pot sitting on the burner. And I said, well, what's for dinner? What is sauce piquant? He said, oh, it's right there. He said, go look. And so I take the ladle and I put it in the pot and I stir it around like that, and I pick it up, and there's a squirrel's head. I'm serious. A squirrel's head staring back at me. And I dropped the spoon and it hooked the side of the pot. And I was a bit shocked, shall we say. And I got asked what was wrong. And I said, what is in the pot? Well, that's squirrel sauce piquant. Well, why is the squirrel's head in there? Oh, the brains are the best part. You take the skull out, you break it with the back of your knife. That's the best. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry. I'm not eating squirrel. I did try it. I can't go to their house with a dinner invitation and not try it. And it was, I ain't gonna lie to you, as far as for the gravy and stuff that was with it, it was very, very good. Very good. But the meat itself, it was so full of little tiny bones. You couldn't really eat it. You're so busy picking the bones out that you couldn't really eat it. So from then on, when they said squirrel sauce piquant, I went to Burger King. I've learned how to cook a lot of stuff. We can tell. I've learned how to cook a lot of stuff since I've been here. I ain't gonna say I cook Cajun, because I don't. But I like cooking. Best thing about cooking, you can eat whatever you want, the way you like it. I love it. I had something else I was going to throw in there too. What was it? I lost my train of thought on cooking something. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll have to think about it. I was real surprised when I got, on my way down here. I left New York State to come to, actually I was on my way to Texas. I left New York State at midnight, the second week of January. I don't remember what day it was. I know it was the second week of January. It's probably around the 14th or 15th of January, 1979. I left New York State, and I left in the middle of the night because I thought that way by the time I get tired of driving, excuse me, I forgot about the pause button. I figured by the time I got tired of driving, the sun will be coming up and wake me up. I'll be able to go a little further. So I left in the middle of the night. There was a bad snowstorm. They had, it was horrible. The drive through Buffalo and down through Erie and all that on the interstate was just absolutely horrible. It was horrible. And I made it down to Memphis. And in Memphis, they had an ice storm going on. It was really, really hard. I went to a hotel, stayed that night at a hotel. Got up the next morning, headed further south. It was on Interstate 55. Headed further south. And I came to the Louisiana rest area. And I walk in, and I walk up to the counter. I'm going to get a Louisiana map. I walk in. Oh, man, I left out something real important. When I made it to the hotel room that night, the ice storm in Memphis, when I made it to the hotel room that night, I called my mom to let her know that I had made it through because the weather was horrific. I called my mom to let her know that I had made it through, and she said, Gordy called. He said his oil rig is moving from Blessing, Texas to Butte La Rose, Louisiana. So I said, okay, thanks. Click. Get up the next day, get in the car, head further south, come to Louisiana Welcome Center, get a map. And I said to the lady, she said, welcome to Louisiana, where are you coming from? I told her I'm coming from New York State. And she said, oh, you coming down here for work? And I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. Where can I go to try to find work? And she looked at me like I was stupid. And she said, anywhere. It doesn't matter. There's work everywhere around here. Good news to me. So I jumped in the car and headed down 55. Got to I-12. Hadn't really spent much time, hadn't spent any time looking at the map yet because it was in the morning. I wasn't worried about it. The weather was absolutely beautiful. It was probably, if I remember right, it was mid, maybe lower 60s, crystal clear blue sky. After what I had been through the day before, I was just so happy that the weather was nice. I didn't care about anything. Going down 55, got to I-12, took a right, cruising down I-12, came through Baton Rouge, came over the bridge, was fascinated by thinking, man, I'm passing over the Mississippi River. I'm hooked, Finn. Anyway, and headed on from there. I got a bunch of work stories that go along with it. This is supposed to be about culture shock, not work stories. No one had told me about Mardi Gras. Now, I had heard of Ash Wednesday, but nobody had told me about Mardi Gras. I had never heard of Fat Tuesday. I didn't know anything about all of that. So when I got to Louisiana, it was the second week of January. My buddy Gordy, I got here a couple days before he did, but we ended up getting together. And his car was broken. The motor was out. He had a 340 Duster. The engine was bad. In the process, we had to go get his car later on and see about changing the motor. Anyway, so he worked on an oil rig out in Butte La Rose, and I would take him back. He worked, what was it? 3 nights, then had 4 days off, and then worked 4 days and had 3 nights off, and then it's a really strange schedule, 12-hour shifts. So what I would do is we lived in a motel, and I would take him to work, and every day when I took him to work, he'd hand me $100 and say, "Go find us life. Go find us somewhere to go. Go find us friends to have. Go find us people." So I'd take him to work, drop him off, and I'd go ride around, exploring, finding things, looking for people, make friends, that kind of thing. And then when he came in when he was not working, when he was off the rig, he didn't work offshore. It was a land rig. It was a 12-hour shift. We'd jump in the car and go driving around, and I would show him around, which worked out. It all worked out pretty well. I ended up working for a short time, worked in the oil field. It didn't go as well for me as it did for him. He ended up getting fired because of some silly whatever, which was pretty common for the oil field. You blink wrong, they decide that they don't want you on the rig anymore. You're gone. That's all there is to it. All right. I have run this now. This is the 4th part of Culture Shock. Some of it's gotten away from Culture Shock and more just living, but I don't know. I'm just talking, just letting it run. I try not to sit too close to the camera, but I've got to be able to have audio too. So if I sit too far away, it's not going to pick up the audio. I don't have a microphone. So I'm doing the best I can to make sure that the phone picks up the audio. Once again, I'm really going, I made this, today is Saturday, August 2nd. I think I made this channel about like 9 or 10 days ago, something like that. I'm not really sure. I know this coming up Tuesday, it'll be 2 weeks. And I've got, the last time I looked was right before I started recording. I've got 1,718 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough. I'm shocked at how it's gone. I'm so happy. My gratitude and my appreciation of y'all spending your time listening to me ramble. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's just absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And now I've got to run through the spiel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when the new videos come out. Hey, thank you. Takes 2 clicks to make it turn off, I guess.